This is the YouTube edition of my book, A Course in Miracles Workbook Nuggets, which is a study aid for the course's workbook for students. I'll begin by reading my book's full commentary on today's lesson over a visual of the book's text. I'll then return with some further thoughts on the lesson. Today's lesson is part of a 20-lesson group that runs from lesson 181 through 200. The introduction to these 20 lessons tells us that each lesson focuses on a certain block that hinders us from learning the course and applying it in our lives. A link to the book on Amazon.com is provided below. Lesson number 181, June 30. I trust my brothers who are one with me. The power of today's lesson is in how little it asks. When you see a, quotes, sin in another, you are asking only to see it differently for the brief period of your practice session. Seeing past the, quotes, sins of others is the special block being focused on today. A long-term commitment to change is not required, but this brief glimpse of the sinless truth is enough to make you desire further progress and change. The Course will never demand allegiance or require you to accept anything on faith. You are only being shown another way of seeing. The Course is confident that if you do the minimal work necessary to get a glimpse, you will choose to seek more. The key point in this lesson is given in the first paragraph. It tells us that when you attack someone, quote, you do not look beyond his errors. Rather, they are magnified, becoming blocks to your awareness of the capital S self that lies beyond your own mistakes and past his seeming sins as well as yours, end quote. In other words, by seeing only the surface, the person's body and actions, and dealing with his ego, you have made bodies and egos real. In fact, you have made bodies and egos all that you see. But remember, our goal is to identify with the one self we all share deep within, not the surface, our body and ego. The block to our progress dealt with by this lesson is no less than the difficulty of people. People, including, or perhaps especially, ourselves, certainly make it hard not to focus on egos and bodies. That's the trap, or block. It keeps us focused on, and thus in, the illusion. The key is to see past the surface, to see the one self we all share within your neighbor and even your adversary. That is the only way to see the one self in yourself as well. See another as only a body and ego, and in that moment, that is how you see yourself as well. You have been dragged back into the illusion. But the illusion is what we want to escape. And as the title to this lesson tells us, quote, I trust my brothers who are one with me. What the title is referring to as that which is one with you and in which you trust is the one self, not the bodies and egos. Other bodies and egos may actually intend to harm you. The lesson is telling you to place your trust in the one self we all share, not the apparent multiplicity and separation of the illusion. Some people cannot be trusted, but the one self within them and you can be. See the one self in everyone and everything, and you see with the eyes of Christ. You see your real self as well. It is the one self in which we trust. And from that lofty perspective of oneness, you can always see exactly what to do in the illusion, even with the most difficult people and in the most difficult of situations.